Tet Tevet, that's 19th of Tevet, marks the Hilula of a great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Shlomo Algazi Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of his time period in of itself. He was born in an area called Brosa. I think his father was a great rabbi, Rabbi Abraham. It's actually interesting. While he was young, he would actually learn, I believe, in the city in Turkey, respectively, which was like, let's say, one of the great Torah epicenters across the world, of Gili Oli. He would learn under the auspices of Rabbi Yosef Sasson and Rabbi Meir de Biton. Very, very great Rabbi Boton, very great rabbis of their days in of itself. I think, come what, when he was the age of 25 years old, he would actually come to the land of Israel and actually dwell in the holy city of Jerusalem, very prominent. There's 4 holy cities in Israel, including Jerusalem, Hebron, Tzfat, and Tiberias. Very interesting enough. So he would be there. And I believe 11 years into his period, when he was actually in, let's just say, in of itself, in Jerusalem, in the holy city at that stage in time, he had to move back to Izmir in Turkey. And one of the reasons was this actually occurred due to many reasons. Remember, Izmir also was a very great community at that point in time, but he would actually stay there, and he would really very much take on many, many different roles in Izmir, in Turkey. He would print his books over there, great books, and will become a great rabbi in there in of itself. I believe he would actually be appointed the head of the Jewish court, at naturally called that Ab Bet Din, inside those vicinities in of itself. And much can be said with regards to many of the great rabbis spoke very highly against him. He really, really protected the Torah. And when there might have been, let's say, troubleships from bad, let's say, influences, or people might have been coming away from the Torah in of itself, he would really fight against it. And any let's say, trouble that might actually befall, he really, really did stay firm and kept, let's just say, promoting a Torah lifestyle in of itself. It's actually interesting. Later on, he would go back after a long period of time in Izmir to serve as a rabbi in Jerusalem again. And he would actually work in various different yeshivot, I think, at that point in time, once he came back to Jerusalem. I think he was considered one of the chachmei of the yeshivot Bet Yaakov, very interesting enough, which I think this yeshiva in of itself was actually opened by Rabbi Yaakov Chagiz, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. Come what year, hey Taf Lamed Gimel, he would be appointed the Ab Bet Din, head of the Jewish court in Jerusalem, a very, very prominent position. Now, he passed away on Yud Tet Tevet in Hebrew, hey Taf Kuf Mem Bet, and very, very great rabbi in of itself. And I believe he was buried in Har Zaitim, the Mount of Olives resting place, burial place in of itself. Now let's explore some great Torah books, which he wrote in his day, because he really did write a lot of Torah novel thoughts in itself. And remember, many of the rabbis, especially in the Israel and Turkey neighborhoods in of itself at that point in time, printed many books. Okay, the first one was a Gufi, Halachot, another great book. Then the Zahab Shaba. And the Yavin Shmu'ah, Avat Olam was in a great Torah book of his, Halichot Ela, Lechem Starim, Tava Le'enai, and various other, I believe, manuscripts and different teachings and books he would actually print and publish at later stages in time. But he was one of the great rabbis of his time. One of the great Turkish rabbis. He was also a very, very much a great Jerusalem rabbi, Yud Tet Tevet, very much symbolizing the great Hilula of Rabbi Shlomo Algazi, very, very great rabbi in of itself. Now, friends, we are a community over here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Actually covered already probably about 600 rabbis altogether, without a doubt, which is absolutely staggering, which we have to point out in of itself. Now, just to add on a few more things within regards to him, there was he was a prolific writer in all rabbinic literature in of his world, and I think he passed away in the year 1683. He was born in 1610, so he lived about 73 years of age. He rationalized, let's just say, Gemara Agadot, while not, it was reported, but wasn't in such a scientific in the modern sense, but he was actually brilliant when it came to Gemara in of itself. Many would consider his best work being the Yavin Shmu'ah, let's say he will elucidate the message, which I think was written in a commentary form to Rabbi Yeshua Halevi's Halichot Olam, I think, which happened to be printed in Venice in of itself. And two other of the books which were connected, let's say, to the Gemara itself was the Halichot Alai, which is the ways of God, and the Gufei Halachot, which is principle of halacha, respectively. I think that was printed in Smyrna in the year 1675. That would have been 8 years before he had passed away, but he was very, very great rabbi in himself. Some of his books were actually, I think, had printings also in Amsterdam, including the Shlomo, which was printed in the year 1710 in Amsterdam. Also, the Razuf Abba was printed in the year 1710, also respectively. And very much a lot of great Torah works in of itself that he actually compiled during his time period. So don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. Now, friends, we are a community here. We are learning about a lot of the great rabbis of yesteryear. Please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos. Reported over, I believe, his son-in-law was Rabbi Aaron Lapapa, and I think his grandson was Rabbi Shlomo Algazi, who he was a student of the author of the book, the Pri Chadash, and he would serve as a rabbi in Egypt at a later stage as in ancestor would. So please, everyone, light candles in memory. Wishing you well. Take care and be well.